Yeah, no doubt. The tight ends, I think it's pretty obvious. Jeremy Ruckert is going to be the next guy up. I think he only had 11 or 12, something like that, catches last year, but five of them were for touchdowns, and both of those totals were the third most on the team. So, really, once you got past Wilson and Olave, there weren't a lot of prolific pass catchers on this team last year. Ruckert formed a great combination with Luke Farrell, obviously, the last couple of years there at the tight end position. Farrell obviously went, I think it was a fifth round draft pick. Uh, in this year's draft, so he went relatively high. It is Jeremy Ruckert as the top tight end. After that, you've got a bunch of guys there, and it remains to be seen whether or not they're going to play two tight ends as much as they did with Ruckert and Farrell. You've got Cade Stover, who started out his Ohio State career on defense, but was also a great offensive player back in his high school days at Lexington High School in the Mansfield area. You got to walk on Mitch Rossi, who I think they put in on running downs to be an extra, almost a fullback, a lead blocker at the point of attack. And I think you can look for him to play a little bit. He got a few more snaps than I would have probably thought in the spring game and some different times. Sam Royer was basically a redshirt freshman this past year. He's a pure tight end, and I look for him to play some. G. Scott, listed on the roster, 6'3", 210 pounds. But to hear what Kevin Wilson talked about, G volunteered when he saw how many outstanding wide receivers they had to move to tight end. He said it was hard keeping his body weight under 220 pounds. So they said, go have a couple Big Macs. And I imagine he'll report in the 225 range, 230 range maybe this coming season at 6'3". And he could be a tight end. And Sam Hart was an early enrolling freshman. Cory Rowell, I think, was a transfer, I want to say from Air Force or somewhere, Colorado State, I don't know, somewhere where he had played some, maybe it was SMU. He had played some college football previously, but I don't think, he's really much in the plan at Ohio State. We haven't seen much out of him yet. So you got 5 or 6 guys there, all of them eligible and ready to go. And to me, I think Ruckert is primed to have a great season. Will Ohio State throw to the tight end? Doesn't seem like it's been that big of a emphasis even now in the Ryan Day offense. Although in the semifinal game against Clemson, Farrell and Ruckert combined for 3 touchdowns, I think, in that game as they blew Clemson basically out of the water. So, man, if you're ever feeling down about yourself, you know what bridge over troubled water or whatever that Simon and Garfunkel says. If you're feeling down or whatever, just get on the DVR and pop on that Clemson game for 3 hours, and that'll pop you back up pretty quick, because that was a fun one to watch.
I guess it's my turn to go second. Yes, Ohio State has tight ends. No, they won't catch a bunch of passes. But Jeremy Ruckert will be the guy. Jeremy Ruckert will be the main guy. You know, I think that they really like what they have out of Cade Stover when they're running their 12 personnel. I mean, he's certainly a guy that's got the physicality to be that blocking guy. I'm really curious about the G. Scott experiment. Let's see if we're seeing that come September or October. Especially if you flex somebody like that, I think that could be just a next level type of weapon. But again, if you have tight end in the name, I just don't know if Ohio State is going to throw you the ball a whole lot. So maybe we should come up with a new classification. And then, they do have the young guys that are coming along. So it'll be interesting to see. But this is going to mostly be Ruckert as the offensive weapon, with G. Scott being the wild card. And then I think we'll see a lot of Stover when they run 2 tights.
Yeah, with the new name, you could just consider G. Scott the big H and Jackson Smith and Jigba and Emeka Egbuka as the small H or the regular H, because he's pretty much only going to be in the slot. He's not. I don't think he'll be tight on the line of scrimmage just yet this year, and they'll build to that. But yeah, there was talk. Kevin Wilson talked about getting Jeremy Ruckert higher up into progressions, And that's actually what has to happen before tight end gets the ball, because as long as Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson are your first two reads, one of those guys is going to get open. And so it never gets down to the tight end. You move the tight end up in that progression, and now you've got a chance for him to play, or for him to be part of the progression. And I can't. I'm looking at this question and I've lost complete train of thought because of I don't know how that rumor. Somebody else take this, so I can just continue to shake my head, because I didn't think the quarterbacks were that bad at Ohio State in the spring game, and or during the spring.
It's not Aruba. It's not Aruba. It basically, I think it just may be trying to poke the Ohio State bear a little bit or whatever. I have never heard that rumor whatsoever. I'm not trying to take a shot at Bama Fanatic, but that's fiction. It's not a rumor.
Yeah, he thought he was a starter. Garrett Wilson was moved to his position, and so Jameson Williams moves one step back, and because he moved one step back, he hit the portal, and that's pretty much it. I mean, this is a guy with 16 catches in his career, and so he hasn't been targeted as much as he wants to. Go to Alabama, see if that changes. I don't think you need to look for anything sinister or quarterback related. He just wants the ball more.